Hi there, this is Noah with the Marketing and Training Department. This is our Tech Tuesday video from earlier this week, April the 5th, and in it we covered basic tech support questions that the tech support department gets frequently. So I hope it's helpful. Before we dive in, I want to encourage you to like and subscribe to the ERS YouTube channel so you never miss out on helpful updates like this, and you can do that by clicking on the link in the upper corner up here or the link in the lower corner down here. So hope it helps and enjoy. Hi all, welcome to the second Tech Tuesday. This week we're going to be covering common tech support questions, and I will just jump right on in. Feel free to leave any comments for me. I will see them if you write the comments in there. I will do my best to answer your questions as we go. Because we have limited time, I might not be able to answer everything right away, but I will see all of your comments, and rest assured that if I can't get to it during this live stream, I will definitely get back to you shortly. And so let's dive in. So here's my agenda for the day. Thanks again to Susie M. for suggesting this topic. So we covered this last week, but I'm going to go ahead and cover it again this week just because this is such a common question. The first two questions are, and it won't take long to go over. And by the way, all of this will be posted on our YouTube channel later. We had some technical issues with that last week, but we're good to go this week. So, all right. So how do we change hours on particular dates or days of the week? So what we're going to do is, and by the way, I'm logged in as a super administrative user through the ERS, magic in the back end. So that's why I have some extra options that y'all don't have, these system options. Y'all, trust me, you don't want that stuff. That's really boring stuff. So I'm going to go into admin products schedule profiles, and I am going to, my internet is of course being glacially slow today. I don't know what the deal is. It was like this last week too. So, okay, so I'm going to click into main. Most of my items are using this schedule profile. And I am going to go ahead and eventually do stuff. Okay, so we can see that 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. are my earliest and latest times here. I don't have anything special set for any particular day. So if I feel like it, I could say, let's say Sunday, and let's say 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. I don't know if it matters. You might not need a space between or before and after that dash, but I've always put it there and it's always worked for me, so why mess with something that doesn't work? So what that's going to do, that's going to change every Sunday to only be available from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. as opposed to the standard 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Now we can also do this with a particular day, just one particular date. So I am going to follow the year, month, date format. Let's see here. Let's go with next Tuesday. So next Tuesday, we are going to say, let's say 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Okay, and let's go ahead and submit our changes. So you get the idea. You're either going to just put a day of the week and that's going to make it universal, or you're going to go ahead and put a particular date in there. You just follow that year, month, date format, 4 digits, 2 digits, 2 digits, and put in the times that you'll be available. And we'll actually look at how to close business on particular dates in a little bit here. That's going to be the next question. So whenever the internet feels like loading my site, we'll go ahead and place a test order to test all that. So let's go ahead and click here to book. Do, 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 do. Here we go, here we go. I think it's because the live stream slows things down. Yeah, let's go with that. All right, let's try Sunday first. Yep, there we go, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So if we click back in here to change it to a regular date, we're going to see the regular hours of availability, which is 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So sweet, that's working as expected. Now let's go into the 13th, and we should see 11 to 7. Bada bing! All right, we're good to go here. Okay, so next question. Ismail C. asked, how do we close business on certain dates? So let's again go back into the back end. Let's go to Rules, Availability Rule Sets. And we are going to click into, whenever the internet feels like cooperating, we're going to click into Universal Availability. So the way that availability rule sets work, I'm not going to do like a super deep dive, but the thing to keep in mind is if you want an availability rule set that applies to all orders across the board, always, period, universal availability is the one. Anything that's in here is going to apply to every single order across the board. So I actually have my deposit rules and other rules like that in other rule sets because I might want conditional deposit rules, right? I might want different deposit amounts depending on the inventory and the order or that sort of thing. So generally speaking, closures are one of the only things that I usually put in universal availability. But in any case, all right. I said I wasn't going to do a deep dive. So I'm going to go ahead and choose closures. And what this means is we're going to be closed, like completely closed on this day. No business whatsoever. So let's say on May 1st, we are 100% closed. Closed for wedding. Okay. So then let's say that we want to close for like a few days. So let's say beginning close date, we're going to close on, let's just say October the 1st through October the 10th. And once again, and it says up in here, so follow these instructions here. You want YYYY-MM-DD. YYYYYYYYYY. Okay, close message. We're going to say closed for, oh my gosh, I can't type. For vacay. Oh my gosh, seriously? Y'all. YOLO. Don't tell your customers that. That looks really unprofessional. Okay, so in other words, do as I say, not as I do. All right, let's go with, there's another one in here. What is it? Closures allow overlapping orders. So basically this means we can place an order that spans these dates. We can't start an order on these close dates, but we can place an order that spans these dates. It's not going to block out inventory that was, ordered before these dates and is set for pickup after these dates. So let's just say 2021-11, -11-10, just for fun. Close message. Call for orders. That way people don't get the impression that, that bugs me when the first letter isn't capitalized. So you don't want people to get the impression that they can't make an order that spans that date. So if you say call for orders, that tells people, oh, I want stuff on that date. So it would allow you to place the order over the phone instead of them clicking into that date and thinking, oh, they're closed that day. You know what I mean? Call for orders is a different message than we're closed. You know what I mean? So anyway, so then if we go ahead and submit this, let's remember these dates here. So 5/1, 10/1 through 10/4, and 11/10. Okay, so let's go ahead and submit all of those. And then let's go back into here. Let's actually choose a different date. Now, I'm not 100% sure that those closure rules are actually going to affect these orders moving forward. Sometimes when you make changes, it only affects orders that are begun after you've already submitted your edits. And that's really important because there are times where, like, for example, if you change like a price rule, you don't want to affect existing, orders that have already been placed or that have already been begun, or certainly past orders, right? Then all of your accounting and reporting would be completely ruined, right? So I'm not completely sure about that with respect to these kinds of rules, so we are going to find out. So, okay, sweet. So closed for wedding on May 1st. And then if we keep going to October, we'll eventually get there. July, August, September, October. Yep. YOLO, y'all. So call for orders on the 10th. Sweet. Of November. So, yep, this is working as intended. So let's look at the next item. So question number 3. Many people have asked us, how do we take items out of availability for a time? Truth is, those first 2 questions, many people have asked us those questions also. I just remembered those particular people asking that at a certain time, and I wanted to let them feel like a movie star. So anyway, many users asked, how do we take items out of availability for a time? So let's go into admin products items, and let's mark some of our items out for repairs. So I'm going to click into Bounce House. Now, the important thing to remember about this is you can't do this with packages. You can only do this with regular items. And the reason for that is because, if you have a particular package that's unavailable during a time, put it this way, the system monitors the availability of packages based on what's in the package, right? So if you notice, when we click into a package item, there isn't going to be a quantity field. And you'll see that in just a second here. And the reason why is because the system is looking at the availability of the birthday panel and the modular bounce house that make up this package. So there's no quantity field in there because, again, it's using these items and their availability to determine the availability of this package. That's really important, right? That's what makes packaging work and monitor and manage your inventory's availability correctly. So it's the same with items being unavailable for, maintenance or for whatever. If you need to manually mark something as unavailable, you need to mark the constituent items that make up a package in order to, make that package unavailable. So in this case, I'm going to click into that modular bounce house because I'm using that for my circus bounce house and my birthday bounce house and maybe some other ones. I don't remember off the top of my head. Actually, it might not be the circus bounce house. It's the happy birthday and one or at least one other. I can't remember. So, this is a demo account. So if I didn't know my inventory, if I had that little knowledge of my inventory and I was a real company, I would be a really terrible company. So, okay, so I'm going to, under reduce quantity by date, whoops, I didn't mean to add more, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and enter these dates here. So let's just say that it's unavailable on the 10th of this month through the 13th of this month. And let's say we've got 3 units that need to be repaired. And that's the date that we have, somebody lined up. And so leaving this one blank isn't going to hurt anything. I didn't intend to add that extra thing there. It's not going to hurt anything for us to leave that blank. So this is good to go. I am going to go ahead and submit. And so you can see we have 4 of those items in the quantity field. So if we start to place an order through the back end, we'll see that only 1 is going to show up as available during those times. So let's go ahead and click into scheduling and start an order through the back end here. And got to go all the way back to April. Let's go back to April, June, May, April. Okay, cool. So let's say the 10th. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do this. Okay, so we're going to book an order. Let's use the shopping cart interface because it shows us, actually the single page checkout also shows us availability. That might have been faster. But in any case, let's go into an order by date. And we're going to go with the 10th. And doesn't matter the times. Y'all know this process pretty well by now, I'm sure. Just keep in mind, for any of y'all who don't know, that this ordering process is fully customizable. Some people like to do all-day rentals, so they don't even want, the customer to pick a, or maybe they just want to say, do you want morning or afternoon? That kind of thing. It can be whatever you want it to be. So click into the Deluxe Bounce Houses category, and we can see, okay, so it's the modular bounce house and the birthday bounce house. We have, so this one, the modular bounce house plus the birthday panel makes this one, right? This is a package. So we have 4 of these regular bounce house items, right? So the system knows that 3 of them are unavailable from the 10th through the 13th. So it's only showing 1 as available. And we actually saw earlier, you can rewind the video to see that when I clicked into the 10th, there was only 1 order and it had a giant slide. So if we hadn't reduced the availability, in the back end at the item level with that reduced quantity by date, it would show 4 in here because we do have 4 of these items in inventory. But because we reduced quantity by date and we reduced it by 3, it's showing us 1. So this is working as expected. All right, so question number 4. Many users asked, how do I set a different minimum order requirement for delivery versus pickup? So this one, we are going to go into admin, rules, availability rule sets. And Again, if this is something you want to apply across the board, you could do it in universal availability. I think for this kind of thing, I tend to prefer, because if I have different availability rule sets governing different items, I want to be able to, have these things be flexible, right? Like I might have a different minimum order requirement for delivery, depending on what item it is or, various other factors. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with general availability. And we've got our enforced minimum order. We can see that it's normally $100. We're going to say, actually, that really should be a little higher. Let's go ahead and say 150. So in other words, if for deliveries, it's going to be 150. So then let's click here to add more. And then we got to click on this little cross icon to move this above Get Customer Status. We always want Get Customer Status at the bottom. I won't get into the details. It's just important for the system to work right. So Get Customer Status is at the bottom. And I'm going to go with, where is it? Customer Pickup Minimum, Enforced Minimum Order. There we go. Okay, so this block message, now it says the items you have chosen are not available for customer pickup. I don't really like that because I don't want someone to... Actually, okay, let me back up a little bit. If you have different pricing for pickup versus delivery, if items actually cost something different, then this is a perfectly fine block message. In that case, you want to have what we call a start step. In other words, you want your order to start with your customers answering a question, right? Is this going to be for customer pickup or for delivery? And so if that's the case, the system is going to display the correct price based on what they chose. But if your pricing is the same, if the items are priced the same, you just have a different minimum order requirement, then probably this doesn't make sense, because what this is telling them is that the item's not available for pickup, which isn't true. It is available for pickup. It's just that the reason that they're getting blocked is because the minimum amount is they're below the minimum amount. So I'm going to rephrase this. I'm going to say we require a minimum order of, and then I'm going to use a merge field, amount. So if I ever change that amount, it's going to just automatically change what it displays there. A minimum order of amount for customer pickup. Please. You know what? I'm actually going to put a little bit of HTML in here and see if it works. I suspect it will. Let's see here. href. This is, by the way, a good little lesson in how to use links. In this part of the system, in my experience, it doesn't like quotation marks, and it actually adds them in automatically under the hood to create a proper link. So if you know HTML formatting, don't worry that I'm not putting in quotation marks here. So I'm going to say, please ahref equals, oh my gosh, how does this work? I can't remember it. Cart? Yeah, I think it's cart. Yep, because it's a relative link. It's going to send me to the website address /cart. And I think that's what it is. We'll test the link after we do this. Okay, so click here. That's going to be the display text. And then we're going to close that link tag with a /a to continue shopping. So the idea is that the customers will see a thing that says, we require a minimum order of $100 for customer pickup. Please click here to continue shopping. And when they click here, it is going to take them back to the cart so that they can click on the continue shopping button. Oh, you know what? No, you know what we're going to do? We're actually going to say store, because it's going to take them straight back to, and that will work, I'm confident, because it's going to take them straight back to the store where they're going to see all of our categories right in front of them so they can choose what items to add to their order. So I'm going to leave minimum amount set at, you know what, let's actually set it at 150, and I am going to submit my changes. Now, most of my items are using general availability. If we had items using other availability rule sets and we wanted to apply the same rules, we would just repeat that process with all the availability rule sets that we want to apply this to. So I'm going to go back into here, and I am going to go back for a page load, and let's see whether I have to actually reset the order or whether this works. So, oh, you know what? There's actually one more thing we need to do first before we do that. Now, this part you have to have tech support do for you, because y'all don't have access to ordering steps. There are security reasons why we can't give you access to this part of the system. But I need to add in a question. I need to ask my customer whether it's going to be for pickup or for delivery. So again, just if you want to do this, talk to the tech support team about where you want this question to be. So in my case, I'm going to put it in the cart steps because I'm not using different pricing. Remember, we talked about that before. If we were using different pricing, we would want to put this in the start step. But in my case, it can be a cart step. So I'm going to say, let's see, where is it? Delivery. Okay, orders delivery. And then I am going to submit. All right. I think this should work without us having to reset the order. So let's go back into order by date. La la la. Okay. Yes, 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 yes. Come on, load the page, please, while we're young. Okay, so let's just pick out a random date. Oh, yep, and there's my special hours for Sunday. And we are just going to put one bounce house that costs less than $150 in this order to test out, and then we're going to mark it for pickup when we get to the cart step. And that's going to let us test this out. So we're going to go with the birthday bounce house. Okay. And then let's go with customer pickup and continue. Then we are going to check out. And I'm going to make this as quick and painless for y'all as possible so you're not like sitting here watching me fill in forms. That's not a good time for anyone. So, oh, whoops. It doesn't matter. It changed my contact info. That's fine. So we're going to go with repeat customer. Doesn't matter, actually. Same, blah, 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 blah. Y'all know this process very well. I should tell a joke or something. I don't know any good ones is the problem. So, okay. We're going to continue. Oh, I hope I didn't go over the 150 threshold with that damage waiver. Okay, so that merge field did not work. I know it works in other parts of the system. We need to change that. So, all right, so I'm going to say, let's click here to continue shopping. And it is going to take us back to the store, I believe. Yep, there we go. So everything's working except for that merge field. So once again, I'm going to go to the pay screen so that we can see what that's going to look like once I change out that merge field for the regular amount. Where do we put it? Oh, yeah, in general availability. Ho-hum. Get customer stuff. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so we require a minimum of $150 for customer pickup. So then we should be able to come back into this pay screen. What the heck? It never, okay, there we go. All right, so we should be able to refresh this page and it should display correctly now. Okay, there we go. All right, so that is how that is done. Now again, if you want to display different pricing right from the start, you know, because you have different pricing for pickup as opposed to delivery, and keep in mind that's not, don't think about that as travel fees and stuff like that, because travel fees are an additional line item in the receipt, right? I'm talking about like if the item itself has a different base price for pickup versus delivery, then you're going to want a start step. Then you're going to want, you know, your customers to answer that question before they even start the order so that you can display the correct price ahead of time. So let's go. Oh, wait, no, we got to go back into our agenda and see what other questions we have to answer. So many people have asked us, how do I add fees for things like damage waivers, park fees, and other questions people answer during the ordering process? So those would be these questions on the event info page. Now, our default folders always have a park question and a damage waiver question because those are frequently questions that people want to ask. And so you can see I've also added some HTML, some links in this. I find that, you know, helpful for the customer. So if we wanted to say, yes, the public park fee is going to, you know, maybe your town charges, you know, like a $20 license fee for you to have an event at a public park, and you want to pass that on to the customer. So let's go ahead and add that into the back end. So we're going to go to admin order config order options. and we are going to find the order option that we are looking for that shows up on that checkout screen. And in this case, it's park. We're going to click into it. And we are going to say 20. And it looks like I excluded Circus Bounce House from this for some reason. I was probably experimenting. I don't know if I did that right, actually. You know what? Just to keep things simple, I'm going to leave that out of there. The exclude field, I don't remember exactly how that works. But in any case, we're just going to test out the cost functionality here. So I'm going to just put 20 in there. That's going to add a $20 flat fee to any event that's at a park. So let's go ahead and submit. And then I'm actually going to click back into here and refresh my screen here. Hopefully, since this page may not have finished loading by the time this one got its information, the server might not have given it that. Yeah, okay, it did. $20. So we're just going to go ahead and say yes. And for those of you who don't know, by the way, any order option that has the word park in it is going to automatically trigger different settings for your deliveries. It's going to put a little tree symbol in the event in your delivery routing area, which tells you that the event's at a park, and it's going to use the park delivery window. In other words, you have a shorter window, like you can't get to the event 4 hours ahead of time or 6 hours ahead of time, whatever your normal delivery window is. Your park events, and you get to set these values, right? The default for parks is an hour, and the idea is that most of us, we don't want to go set up our stuff at a park 6 hours ahead of time, because then we'd have to leave a driver there for 6 hours, because we're not going to leave our stuff unattended at a public park for 6 hours. You know, so it triggers that kind of stuff. So just keep that in mind. So we're going to update this, and this is actually probably going to let me place the order, because it's probably going to take the order total above 150. So yeah, so it not only does it do that, but it also added that line item, that $20 charge. So that's how you do that. We can see the damage waiver already did it. And so we can see that when you put, you know, a percentage symbol in that cost field, it's going to calculate a percentage. And if you just put a number, it's just going to put that flat number of dollars in there. So that's how that works. Super simple. And then we've got just a couple of other quick questions. Okay, so Gary L. and Jeremy T. asked me, what kind of stack does ERS run off of? Is all your code version controlled? Also, what does your HA and DR look like? What's the proper way to code CSS? Those are excellent questions, guys. Really good questions. So, you know, I think the answer to that is, well, you know, you have to use the AJAX call to make a PHP function that's going to trigger an HTML form in the server. Okay, so next question. An anonymous user, Leslie B., that's not anonymous, asked, hey Noah, have you ever heard of a thing called shaving? No. Well, it's been fun, y'all. We'll see you soon. Hi again. Hope this was helpful. As always, any questions that you have about this or anything else can be directed to the tech support department at 505-435-9731, extension 102, or support@eventrentalsystems.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.